Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is our wacky and weird Wednesday, and we've already started off Wednesday pretty wacky because I had a blue screen of death right before we started the show. We've got some news here about all sorts of things humans are doing, and hopefully it brings some levity to your life, especially since, what did you say? It's a National Laughing Day. Just laugh at. You know what? The world is fucking weird. Let's just laugh at it. Before Coffee, the father and daughter comprehensive news of the Planet Earth podcast, where we look up our stories 10 to 15 minutes before we started, and we haven't had any caffeine. That's right, we've rolled out of bed just to be here with you to tell you what's going on. So let's get into those headlines. Today on Before Coffee, 2 men guilty over the theft of the £4.75 million golden toilet from the Blenheim Palace. Yeah, that's right, this is an oldie, but a newie, because we're updating you on the actual trial.
South Carolina apartment complex holds a vigil for Walter Alligator, and Illinois votes for the new state flag and chooses the old one.
From France comes a call for Trump's America to return Lady Liberty, and here's why that won't happen. I didn't even know we were thinking about it seriously.
And the astronauts that were stranded because the Boeing ride failed have finally returned to Earth.
When attitude takes form, a celebration of artists with intellectual disabilities in Italy.
It's a national It's national. I guess I'm laughing. March 19th, 2025 on Before Coffee.
I'm thinking that if we laugh just this whole hour, we'll just feel better. You know, that'll be wacky enough in itself. You're just sitting here going, ah, ha, ha. And then I switch to you, and you also laugh, and then... All right, that's our stories for today, guys. See you next time.
We don't have a laugh button on the soundboard.
No, we need a laugh sound. I'll look for one during your story, and I'll put it in there maybe. Yeah, we got the wah, wah, wah as well. That one's kind of goofy and funny, but that one's just funny. But yes, let's roll our segue wheel so that we know what segue we're doing. Take me away, segue. Take me away. It's the segue. I don't know the rest, how I can make that song fit the wheel. Oh, it reminds me of a song. Well, speak of the devil, I was just singing. So you're gonna have to, I hope this reminds you of a song about a golden toilet. Good luck. This is from Jordan Reynolds on The Independent. 2 men have been found guilty over the theft of a $4.75 million gold toilet from Blenheim Palace. Blenheim? Where is this? Where's Blenheim Palace?
I think it's Switzerland.
I don't know, it doesn't say. I click in and it just gives me 15 other stories about it. The fully functioning 18-karat gold toilet, which has been installed as an artwork, so nobody was actually sitting on it, at the Oxfordshire County House where Sir Winston Churchill was born, was stolen in a raid in the early hours of September 14th, 2019. A raid. Like the UK got invaded or something.
Oh, way alive now.
Oh no, the Danes are back and they raided Sir Winston Churchill's toilet. It's created by an Italian artist, Maurizio Catalan, and it was a star attraction in an exhibition when it was stolen. It is believed that the distinctive toilet has now been split up and disposed of. Oxford Crown Court was told previously. Oh, that's right. We're like, they're never going to find that toilet. They already melted it. They already melted all the gold off and sold it. Jurors from Oxford Crown Court on Tuesday, which was yesterday, the 18th of March, found Michael Jones, 39, guilty of the burglary. Jones from Oxford visited the palace twice before the theft, but denied these were reconnaissance trips. He previously told jurors he took advantage of the gold toilet's facilities while at the country house the day before it was taken. And asked what it was like, Jones said, "Splendid." Oh, maybe you are allowed to use the toilet. That's very rare. Usually when they have a special art toilet, they don't let you actually use it. It does fully function, so I guess they're just trying to be like, look, it's golden and it works. You can use it yourself. Jurors were previously told James Sheen, 40, from Wellingborough, North Hampshire, had already pleaded guilty to the burglary. He also pleaded guilty to conspiracy to transfer criminal property and one count of transferring criminal property, which means that they definitely melted it down and sold the gold. And that was in April of 2024. The court previously heard Jones had worked as a roofer and builder for Sheen from about 2018 and was effectively Sheen's right-hand man, being trusted to arrange payments for his friend's other employees. Frederick Doe, 36, also known as Frederick Sines of Wingfield, Windsor, Berkshire, was found guilty of conspiracy to transfer criminal property. Doe helped Sheen sell some of the gold in the following weeks, the court heard. Bora Gukuk, 41, from West London, was found not guilty of the same charge, so Bora was not involved at all. So leave Bora alone. She didn't do anything with the toilet. Jones was arrested. I would feel bad about this, but it's just like an art installation that, was in Churchill's house, so it's not like somebody's loved one's golden toilet. I mean, well, I guess somebody loved Churchill. I don't love him. I don't know the guy. Doe was sentenced on May 19th Jones was arrested on October 16, 2019, and police analyzed his phone. He had been searching for newspaper reports about the stolen toilet on September 20th. Jurors were told previously. He's like, I did a crime. Are they talking about the crime? Oh, man, I did that. It was me. Doe was sentenced on May 19th. Jones and Sheen will be sentenced at a date yet to be seen, but they have been found guilty, so that's not a question. Dan Saunders, the Crown Prosecution Service, said, it was an audacious raid which had been carefully planned and executed, but those responsible were not careful enough, leaving a trail of evidence in the form of forensics, CCTV footage, and phone data. It's a golden toilet. Alright, calm down. It has been a complex case to prosecute, involving a nationwide investigation with many lines of inquiry to identify those who were subsequently charged in relation to the theft. While none of the gold was ever recovered, no doubt having been broken up or melted down and sold as soon as it was stolen, we are confident this prosecution has played a part in disrupting a wider crime and money laundering network. I mean, at least the Crown has finally gotten rid of some of their stolen artifacts, Who knows where they got that gold from? I'm saying. I'm not a royalist. Thames Valley Police said other people were involved in the burglary at the Blenheim Palace and called for anyone with information to come forward. Nah, it's fine. You don't have to say anything. It's fine. It's not like, it's just burglary. I don't really care about burglary. I mean, it sucks, especially if it happens to you, right? If somebody came to my house and stole my whole entire computer, that would really be depressing. But, I mean, you're stealing from the Crown? Yeah, I don't care. The Crown has stolen plenty of stuff. I really don't want to hear about burglary from the Crown. Return the diamond. Return your blood diamonds, and I'll care, Speaking outside the Oxford Crown Court following the verdict, Detective Superintendent Bruce Riddle said, as part of the investigation, a number of other arrests were made, but further charges could not be brought, and it's clear there are others who were involved in the crime. If anyone has information that have not already come forward with in relation to the burglary or the sale of the gold, then we would encourage them to get in touch with Thames Valley Police Crime Stoppers. Speaking of Sheen, Mr. Riddle said, it is clear that Sheen was only one intent, in that it is to do whatever he can to steal money and property regardless of the impact it has others into communities. I don't think stealing the golden toilet impacted others or the community, okay? I don't think the community is like, no, our golden toilet. Now no one's gonna come here for the tourist attraction because our golden toilet's gone. Well, now that you can put a picture of the golden toilet, and then you can put a plaque that says, in 2019, this toilet was stolen, infamously, and you still have your tourist attraction. Don't worry about it. I'm satisfied that Sheen pleaded guilty to his offenses, and he will continue to serve time in prison for his crimes, as he was previously convicted of defrauding elderly and vulnerable people, as well as the theft of money from cash machines and the organized theft of agricultural machinery. You know what? Fair enough. That stuff is terrible. I agree. Stealing the toilet, however, I don't think is comparable to terrible defrauding elderly people. That's, we've talked about that before. Terrible thing to do. People are already confused what the hell's going on in the world, and then you defraud them. Speaking of Jones, Mr. Riddle said, Jones was clearly keen to assist Sheen in the burglary, carrying out the recess on his behalf, and it is our case that he benefited financially from the crime, and we believe he also was present at the raid. Mr. Riddle further said the convictions were the result of a vast amount of work by detectives at the Thames Valley Police. This has been a complex investigation with detailed forensic work, complex phone analysis, and piecing together who planned the burglary of this unique piece of artwork with an estimated value of $4.8 million. Oh, hopefully they spread that money around to lesser fortunate. Like maybe those people they defrauded. Sorry we defrauded you. Here you go, some money. We made multiple arrests, investigated numerous scenes across the country, examined more than 2,000 exhibits, including CCTV inquiries, hundreds of statements, gathered a significant amount of intelligence, and looked into multiple lines of inquiry with our regional, national, and international partners, all to find out who was behind the burglary, where the toilet had gone, and who had profited from it. Blenheim Palace said in a statement, "We are extremely pleased that 5 years after the theft of the Maurizio Catalan's artwork, America, 3 individuals have been brought to justice." Whatever. We would like to thank Thames Valley Police for their tireless work on this case and the highly professional way they have conducted their investigation into the theft of Blenheim Palace. There you go, a burglary of a toilet that's been... We finally got them and have sentenced them to prison for who knows. They didn't say how long. I guess it's because they haven't sentenced them yet, but other people have been sentenced since April and May, and nobody has said anything about them either. But hopefully they can get out and I guess learn their lesson. Next time, don't steal from the crown because they will get you. But don't steal...
cameras.
Yeah, they will find you to get their golden toilet back. Very important. There's other shit happening, but at least they know what happened to the golden toilet. Which is...
I found the video of it, so I sent it to you.
Okay. You got a song for me?
Yes. Golden slumbers fill your eyes. I don't know, sometimes you fall asleep on the toilet. I do sometimes.
I guess that's related.
There's plenty of songs about gold to choose from.
Yeah, woo, yeah. Crowd cheer, okay. Let's roll the wheel for me then.
Alright.
Get that spinning.
Two stories on the rotisserie today.
Alright, I have to give you a personal story, so tell me about them.
It's gonna be a tough one. Alright. That's always a tough one, isn't it? Personal story one. No. We can always replace it, I think. AP News has a story. South Carolina apartment complex holds a vigil for Walter the Alligator. That's right. Several dozen people gathered Sunday in an apartment complex along the South Carolina coast to remember a longtime resident who died the day before, an alligator named Walter, who sunned beside the pond on the property for more than a decade. Walter was killed on the property after several complaints over the past week. The management of Daniel Island Village told WCIV-TV in a statement. Neighbors in the apartment complex near Charleston said Walter had been hanging around the complex for more than a decade, not only earning a name, but a little fame. Vigil organizer Rebecca Cole told the TV station that people with pets and children could walk right past Walter and not be bothered. He was a piece of the community, even though he was a cold-blooded animal. We all loved him, and it tore us all up, Cole said. In a February 24 Facebook post, Daniel Island Village marked warmer weather after the winter chill with a photo of an alligator hanging out by the pond. Daylight saving time is coming to an end. It's getting warmer out. Daniel Island Village is on the verge of a beautiful blossom. The proof is in the pudding. Walter is out, the post said. Imagine being in South Carolina and thinking winters are harsh. It just blows my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, really hard winters there, I'm sure. Anyway, alligators are threatened and federally protected species, but state law allows permits to be given to kill or remove them if they threaten people. At least 6 people have been killed by alligators in South Carolina in the past decade. The apartment complex has been issued a permit the past 2 years to remove an alligator if they decide it is a nuisance, and they can hire a contractor to get rid of the animal, the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources said in a statement. The statement last week from property managers said Walter's death followed state law, and news about his passing can be distressing, and we sincerely appreciate your understanding. In the future, please continue to abide by posted signage about not feeding wildlife, including alligators. For everyone's safety, if you observe to displace wildlife in our community, please do not interfere, the property management said. Yeah, so the property managers are assholes.
Yeah.
They killed everybody's alligator because one person complained.
It wasn't.
It's living. It's alive.
Where was this again? Well, it doesn't matter where it is. There's always people out there that are like, I don't want to take blame for it, even though I'm the one who did it, and I'm going to blame everyone else. They don't got a backbone, man.
Yeah, we assure you we followed state law. That's really comforting. Way to go, jackasses.
Yeah.
I hope your alligator shoes are really nice shoes. Other news, unless you have a personal story about that one.
No, I don't think I've never seen an alligator. There's your personal story. I've never seen an alligator.
Other news in the United States, Illinois, this farther north. Illinois votes on a new state flag design and chooses the current one, which makes you wonder, why the hell are we voting in the first place? This is from Springfield, Illinois. John O'Connor from Associated Press. Flags engender such loyalty and pride. They often become very personal emblems and very quirky with quaint nicknames. Old Glory, Union Jack, Maple Leaf, or SOB. That would be state seal on a bedsheet. Their derisive moniker with which some have burdened the Illinois state flag, a gleaming white banner emblazoned with the state's bald eagle themed emblem. Some forward-looking lawmakers set up a contest to design a new flag and put it to a vote. In a landslide, the winner was chosen, and it's the current flag. The SOB wins in a landslide. Of the nearly 385,000 votes cast, the people that actually give a shit, the existing bunting received 43% more tallies than the next 6 finalists combined. Some may call it an SOB and the vexillological community flags are vexillological community, that's flag experts, may hate it, but people overwhelmingly prefer our current state flag, said Secretary of State Alexei Giannoulias, whose archivist chairs the Illinois Flag Commission. Its members were chosen by the governor, legislative leaders, and state education and museum administrator. Created in 1915, the current emblem is a white field featuring the state seal adopted in 1868. A bald eagle before a rising sun, a shield in its talons and its beak, and a banner expressing the Prairie State's dual tenets, state sovereignty, national union. In 1970, Illinois, in block letters, was added at the bottom. I guess they just wanted to make sure everybody knew what state we're talking about. Last fall, residents were invited to submit their vision for a new standard. More than 4,800 did, most of them serious. The commission whittled it down to 10 finalists and added the current 1915 flag and banners created for the state's 1918 centennial and 1968 sequencennial. What I tried to convey to people was this is not a process that is mandating a new flag. We're going to test the waters and see what people say. So I respect those results, says Kim Buckner, who sponsored the law creating the flag inquiry. But the Chicago Democrat was quick to point out that while the existing flag received nearly 166,000 votes, there were 219,000 votes for the new colors. There were more people who thought that maybe we should move in a new direction, said Buckner, who found the contest runner-up a star-haloed sun rising above a converging green stripes of a prairie to be super cool. It's not over just yet. The General Assembly gets the final say. However, Buckner doubts there will be an appetite to change course given the overwhelming vote that's for the status quo. Regardless of the outcome, Buckner said the contest, which drew entries from various regions of the state and for young and old and accomplished parts of his goal, ginning up some pride about Illinois. This reminded me of the people who really care about where they live and care about the way we present ourselves to others. Okay, if that makes you happy, whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
Here's your story on the flags. Illinois.
That's a good story. Yeah, but, I mean, personal story-wise, I'm not sure if that's ever happened. There is, I guess my personal story would be, why are people so scared of change, you know? I welcome change, you know? I like being uncomfortable,
scary,
actually. So, and usually, I mean, changing a flag is really not that big deal, but it does seem like it is because, you know, so many people weren't able to accept changing it. So, I guess my personal story is I'm better than you because I can accept change. You're welcome.
You're better than me. Well, that's nice to know.
Oh, and I've just added this, so I don't know if you heard it.
Right.
Or maybe I need to. Oh no, maybe I need to play it here. Should be here now. Here we go. Oh no, this one. Sorry. I've added a crowd laugh.
Oh.
So there you go. I'm also adding like another laugh too, but you finish your story before I can finish. But there you go. I added a crowd laugh to the.
I see crowd laugh. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Let's continue our show with another segue. Roll.
Spinny.
I listened to 20 different laughs. I'm like, this is the only good one I found. So, okay, time for an alliteration headline. Get those letters looking the same on the alphabet. Yeah, words. Okay, this is wacky and weird news from Monday. I saw this headline while I was scrolling through. That's right. France has asked for Lady Liberty back. Of course, that's not going to happen, but it's weird they even asked. This is by John Leicester on AP News. Coming out of Paris. Hey, America, give the Statue of Liberty back to France. So says a French politician who is making headlines in his country for suggesting that the U.S. is no longer worthy of the monument, which was a gift from France nearly 150 years ago. Raphael Glucksmann, a member of the European Parliament and co-president of a small left-wing party in France, can't claim to speak for all of his compatriots, but his assertion in a speech this weekend that some Americans have chosen to switch to the side of tyrants reflects the broad shockwaves that convicted felon Trump's seismic shifts in foreign and domestic policy are triggering in France and elsewhere in Europe. Give us back the Statue of Liberty, Glucksmann told supporters of his Public Place party, who applauded and whistled on Sunday, which was the 16th of March. It was a gift to you, but apparently you despise her, so she will be happy here with us, Glucksmann said. The White House brushed back on the comments. I can't believe they were even replied, but I guess, what is it, Bozo the Clown or whatever, is always taken every single thing very serious. Sorry?
He's known for being an offensive smelling human being. So
Okay.
Stinky the Clown.
Stinky the Clown, yeah, there. Stinky the Clown takes everything very seriously, especially if it's on social media, so. The White House brushed back on the comments on the 17th of March, saying France instead should still be grateful for U.S. support during World War I and World War II. I don't think they weren't grateful. They just said they want their statue back. Glucksmann in turn then shot back that French gratitude for Americans' wartime sacrifice is internal, but added, if the free world no longer interests your government, then we will take up the torch here in Europe. Yeah, I mean, these guys have never been to France, is what it sounds like actual Normandy, because we went to Normandy, right, like 2 years ago. They still have memorial plaques right on their friggin' light posts to all the soldiers who died during the Normandy beach. Yeah. That seems pretty internally grateful to me. Otherwise, you'd just be like, take those down. That was 80 years ago. Who cares? You know that.
They still know their names. They have statues
exactly, and they have a whole American-centric memorial there that you can walk through. So I don't want to hear about France isn't thankful. They're very thankful. No one, of course, will come and steal the Statue of Liberty, he wrote on Twitter. The statue is yours, but what it embodies belongs to everyone. Dream on. UNESCO, the United Nations cultural arm that has the statue on its list of World Heritage Sites, notes that the iconic monument is U.S. government property, unless they sell it, you know? It was initially envisioned as a monumental gesture of French-American friendship to mark the 100th anniversary of the July 4th, 1776 Declaration of Independence. But a war that erupted in 1870 between France and German states led by Prussia diverted the energies of the monument's designer, French sculptor Frederic Auguste Bartholdi, and the gift also took time to be funded, with a decision made that France would pay for the statue and Americans would cover the cost of its pedestal. Also, they paid for that. Oh, so technically, Americans only own the pedestal. Transported in 350 pieces from France, the statue was officially unveiled on October 28, 1886. Still quite a long time ago. So, is France government offering asylum to Lady Liberty? maybe not metaphorically, French-US relations would have to drop off a cliff before Glucksmann found support from French President Emmanuel Macron's government. That's right, most of the centrists in the European governments are very, very, very much sitting in denial that Trump gives a shit about them at all. Because Trump only cares about money. So, and unfortunately, Europeans have wealth, but they're not rich, okay? So, unless somebody from Switzerland, he'll be friends with the Swiss president. Like, oh yeah, give me, or prime minister, whoever rules Switzerland. Give me money! I like money. French people, notoriously not very wealthy, so, yeah, he's not impressed. For the moment, the French president is treading a fine line, trying to work with the convicted felon and temper some of his policy shifts on one hand, but also pushing hard against some decisions, notably the tariff hikes, because nobody likes tariffs. Macron has let his Prime Minister François Bayrou play the role of being more critical voice. Bayrou tore into the brutality that was shown to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky during the infamous visit that people have already forgotten about, and suggested that convicted felon Trump administration risked handing victory to Russia when it paused military aid to Ukraine. That's part of the plan there, buddy. Glucksmann's party has been even more critical, posting accusations on its website that Trump is wielding power in an authoritarian manner and is preparing to deliver Ukraine on the silver platter to Russia. He's also getting ready to sign the Constitution off. Like, this is no longer a valid government document. In a speech, Glucksmann referenced New York poet Emma Lazarus' words about the statue. Mighty woman with a torch, promised home for huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Today this land is ceasing to be what it was, Glucksmann said. Of course, somebody had to reply to this, so of course the press secretary Caroline Leavitt, when asked about Glucksmann's comments, responded that the US would absolutely not be parting with the landmark in the New York harbor. Leavitt is one of the 3 administrative officials named in a lawsuit by the AP on First and Fifth Amendment goods. AP says that 3 are punishing the news agency for editorial decisions they oppose. The White House says the AP is not following an executive order to refer to the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America. Really? We're gonna punish news agencies for not using proper terms now? Like, that's never happened.
I'm a fascist.
You know what? We should start punishing newspapers who use the wrong pronouns for people and spell people's names wrong too. Why stop there? That's just all things that are incorrect.
Stop there. Do you think he's gonna stop there?
I'm just being sarcastic. The advice that to the unnamed low-level French politician would be remind them that it's only because of the United States of America that French is not speaking German right now. Wow, classic line. The French were also there too, and the British, and even some other people from other rebellious sects. It wasn't just the U.S. fighting in World War I and II. I understand that they did a lot. Especially since they weren't in the wars at the beginning, so they were just sitting there collecting all their stuff so that they could. And they had the Pacific Theater, of course, as well. But I don't like that argument that that's the only reason. It was just the U.S. Nobody else did anything,
Especially from a guy who avoided the draft.
Yeah. Well, this is from Leavitt, right? So she's a woman, so you can make your own determination on that. Somebody who wouldn't be in a draft, I guess you could say. She would never be drafted. So, but I hate that line from anybody. I don't care who it is. I don't want to hear. You're only like this because the U.S. was there. Just us.
Like she physically was there.
Leavitt wasn't even born, I think, when the Nazis were in France.
Hitler up until 1941. So
they should be very grateful, okay? We did all that work. Britain didn't, defend its borders for years. It was just the U.S., guys. But the depth of gratitude runs both ways. Leavitt skipped past France's key role in supporting future United States during its war for independence from the United Kingdom, during the the French-Indian War or whatever. Yeah, France was there. They helped. In a subsequent follow-up, Glucksmann said that his call for Lady Liberty to travel back across the Atlantic to France has been intended as a wake-up call. We all in Europe love this nation to which we know and owe so much, he posted. It will rise again. You will rise again, and we are counting on you. But maybe get rid of that statue if you're going to stop following liberty. That's that's his point. That's the point he's trying to make. But, Yep, France and America have very long ties with each other. Of course, so do Russia and America, actually. Before the Cold War, they made a lot of deals, get a lot of money during the Revolution, and I think also the War of 1812. So, history is history.
The Revolutionary War would have failed without France.
Yeah, 100%. Because France was also attacking the UK, so they couldn't do anything. The UK was like, we have to deal with France. You guys do whatever you want. We don't have time for a rebellion, a colonist independence. Sure, and that's what the War of 1812 was. They came back to say, okay, we're coming back to beat you guys up for what you did in 1776. But they won that war, so that's why America exists. There's your little U.S. history, and onto my alliteration headline.
Oh, alliteration headline. Lady Liberty likely a loner? With a question mark at the end.
Very soon, questionably. Okay. Let's roll our wheel for the next segue.
Alliterations are not as easy as they seem to find. But
no, they aren't.
They'd be easy. Damn.
All right, I need a bad pun, so give me my story.
A bad pun as the astronauts return to Earth from overlong space stays. This is from TechCrunch.com. The only site I could find that didn't overcover this. Just write a 20-minute story. Okay. Let's not say we did. This is from Sean O'Kane. Suni Williams and Barry Butch Wilmore have returned to Earth after a 9-month stay at the International Space Station, a trip that lasted far longer than originally planned thanks to leaks and thruster problems on the Boeing Starliner spacecraft they used to get there. Williams and Wilmore splashed down the Gulf of Mexico. Gulf of Mexico on a SpaceX Dragon capsule at 5:57 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday after a 17-hour return journey from the ISS. The return marks the end of one of the stranger chapters in recent spaceflight history, thanks to problems that the Boeing Starliner experienced and the way the SpaceX CEO Leon Scum has politicized the astronauts' return. Oh no, not him. He's such a genuine, nice guy. He wouldn't do that. Anyway, Williams and Wilmore initially launched to the ISS in June of last year as part of a mission that was crucial to Boeing's attempt to compete with SpaceX. The aviation behemoth won a contract alongside SpaceX in 2014 to send astronauts to the ISS for NASA, with an eye on eventually carrying them even farther out into the solar system. SpaceX performed its first crew flight with its Crew Dragon spacecraft in 2020 during the early days of the COVID pandemic. Boeing's Starliner project, meanwhile, was dragged down by cost overruns and delays. SpaceX is also blowing up their rockets. Let's not forget that. We act like they're no problems with their stuff. Give me a break, will you? The flight on June 2024 is supposed to help Boeing look past all that. The goal is to send Williams and Wilmore to the ISS and then bring them back home after a short stay. But Starliner experienced problems before they even got docked with the ISS. Once the astronauts finally got aboard, NASA and Boeing spent a few weeks performing tests before deciding to bring Starliner back without them. NASA quickly started working with SpaceX on a plan to bring Williams and Wilmore back. After some back and forth, they decided to wait until early 25 to bring the duo home so that ISS wouldn't be short-staffed. In recent months, though, Musk has claimed without providing any evidence that he offered to bring the astronauts back home earlier and that former President Joe Biden declined the offer because it would help his political rival Donald Trump. That makes absolutely no fucking sense. Makes no fucking sense. I don't know how that helped Trump. Can't think of one reason that would.
No, I mean, also, why would he need to be helped against his politics? He wasn't going for president, right? And he hadn't won yet, so I don't understand why would do anything.
It makes no fucking sense. It makes no sense. How bringing those astronauts back would help Donald Trump. That makes no fucking sense. NASA's former administrator and deputy administrator under Biden have both said the space agency was not aware of any offer. Yeah, Musk just made the shit up. CNN reported on Tuesday that senior White House official also claimed they weren't aware of any offer. So yeah, again, there's just bullshit that Leon pulled out of his ass for sympathy. You know, if you're a liar and everybody knows you're a liar, it's probably a good idea to stop talking. So, but Leon's not going to learn that because he thinks money is intelligence, and it's not. Sorry, folks, money's not intelligence. There's your story.
Not yet, anyways.
There's your story in the astronauts. Yeah.
I keep on eating quarters, and it just doesn't make me smarter, and it's really annoying because I have a lot of quarters in my stomach now.
There's a lot of nickel in quarters.
Yeah.
There is.
Is that your only story? I thought you only had one?
That's it, man. Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's my puns for you. I guess it's okay because astronauts are always having a blast and they take up a lot of space. So now they can have a blast on the Earth instead of instead of in space. There you go. There's your bad puns about astronauts. Here we go. We can play our new sounds. Yeah. I also added a giggle too. I don't know if you.
A giggle.
That one's pretty funny, huh? Oh, let's roll the wheel for your segue here. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, I have no idea what it rolled because it didn't tell me. Whoops. Let me roll it again. It's supposed to tell me the result once it rolls, but it didn't tell me the result. It is a mixed metaphor. There we go. We got the roll. Okay.
A mixed metaphor.
Let's go on to culture news, which is about a celebration of artists with intellectual disabilities in Italy. Now, I don't think disabilities are funny or wacky, but I think art can be wacky, and I think the art that is on display can be wacky. So that's why we're covering this news. This is by Theo Ferrant on Euronews Culture. A newly opened exhibition in Turin is highlighting the work of 13 artists with intellectual disabilities from Eisenberg collection. So these are people who are already in a collection. Last week, the Italian city of Turin hosted the 2025 Special Olympics World Winter Games, welcoming athletes with intellectual disabilities from over 100 different countries to compete on a global stage. But the spirit of inclusion didn't stop at just sports. Running alongside the games, a celebration of creativity, inclusion, self-expression, launched at the Fondazione Sandrietto de Rubadengo, a non-profit contemporary art museum founded by collector Patricia Sandretto de Rubadengo in 1995. Titled When Attitudes Take Form, the exhibition shines a spotlight on the extraordinary talents of 13 different artists with intellectual disabilities from the Martin and Rebecca Eisenberg collection. So these guys are already in a collection. They're just taking them out of that collection and saying, look, don't forget about these guys. The Eisenbergs, longtime champions of artists with disabilities, have dedicated their collection to amplifying voices that are often overlooked in the art world. In collaboration with renowned New York curator Matthew Higgs, they have assembled a selection of works that challenge perceptions and celebrate individuality. For many years, the Eisenbergs have been collectors of incredible contemporary paintings in New York City. They have a daughter, Jessie, who has learning difficulties, and they've been deeply involved with curators who, about 20 years ago, began profiling artists with similar challenges, Higgs told Euronews Culture at an opening night of the exhibition. He added, over time, they built an exceptional collection of this work. Not only have they collected these pieces, but they've also actively promoted them and donated them to major institutions. The artists featured here are also represented in San Francisco Museum of Modern Art, Museum of Modern Art in New York, and many other renowned institutions. The artists in the show have a wide range of intellectual development disabilities, including nonverbal autism, schizophrenia, cognitive impairments, each shaping their own artistic output. There's some people who can even see sounds. It's a real thing you can do. You can see sounds and you can paint it. Very cool. One of the key aspects of neurodivergent work community is its diversity. Much like any other community, each artist has their own techniques, subject matter approach to art, preferred style, scale, and choice of materials. Often, they refine a technique in a creative process that evolves over time, Higgs explained. Dan Miller, an artist on the autism spectrum, who experiences communication challenges, embraces the power of repetition. His work features a dizzying array of words, letters, and names and numbers, layered into a chaotic, mesmerizing abstraction reminiscent of Jason Pollock's style. When Attitudes Take Form showcases 3 of his brilliant works. Similarly, Nenya Kalu's practice is also rooted in repetition and layering. She has been part of the Action Space, a London-based organization supporting artists with learning disabilities since 1999. Now, large-scale installations have gained international recognition. Many of the artists featured in the show have benefited from the rise of dedicated art spaces like Action Space that nurture and support neurodivergent and intellectually disabled artists. Kalu's drawings and paintings are often produced in pairs, echoing and complementing one another. One of the exhibition's highlights is her diptych piece, Drawing 26, which exemplifies her signature approach to mark making through movement and repetition. The work features 2 hypnotic, swirling vortex-like forms created in layered lines of black and blue and purple against a yellow background. It's very similar to, just drawing a circle over and over again. That's how I'm going to explain what it looks like. Just imagine you had a piece of paper and you just kept on doing this. But different colors. And then on a huge, I don't know, it's like the size of my body. It's a pretty big painting. For some artists in the show, art is means to challenge and redefine societal narratives. The late Derek Alex Corrard, who lived with schizoaffective disorder, used his work to explore themes of Black masculinity, spirituality, and faith. A piece spotlighted in the show titled The Vision of Healing features a divine bearded figure gazing forward as a piercing beam of orange light erupts from his eye. Lush, vibrant greenery, blooming flowers surround his form, connecting the spiritual with the natural world. It looks like it was made with, what do you call this? Not pastels. No, not chalk. Maybe chalk. Actually. Yeah, chalk. We'll go with chalk. There's also the wonderfully vibrant work of William Scott, an Oakland-based artist with autism and schizophrenia. Wow, combo. Who works at Creative Growth, one of the oldest and largest art centers for people with disabilities in the world. Describing himself as an architect, his art is deeply rooted in his own life, with his paintings depicting family members and church congregants to actors, musicians, and civil rights leaders. Much of his work he envisions a utopian San Francisco. Praise Cisco, proposing new neighborhoods, buildings, and community centers. The exceptional talent of the artist in the exhibition is undeniable, but despite this, disabled people continue to be significantly underrepresented across arts and everything, really. Just nobody wants to see them. And I'm fine with seeing people with disabilities. I'm talking about other people, right? There's people out there like, it makes me uncomfortable. Yet again, I'm better than you because I like being uncomfortable. 2023 report commissioned by the British Council revealed that 48% of European art organizations surveyed presented work by disabled artists less than once a year, while 23% never did so at all. That person's disabled? Yeah, their painting probably sucks. We're not even gonna look at it. That's what they were saying. It believes that exhibitions like When Attitude Takes Form play a vital role in breaking down these barriers in the art world. These issues for neurodivergent individuals is often prejudiced and ignorant. One way to overcome this is by making their voices and perspectives more visible. Art is a powerful vehicle for this because of its universal appeal. So, I hate when people put rules on art. Music, painting, whatever, all that stuff. Oh, there's rules. There's no rules. It's expression of the human mind. And that has no rules. It's boundless. This isn't good art because somebody with schizophrenia made it. Okay, well, you're a piece of shit. How about that?
The guy's left-handed. He can't possibly be a good
artist. He can't possibly make anything good. One of the most important aspects of this exhibition is that it tells the story of champions. Not only the artists themselves, but also the collectors who truly championed this work. These collectors work tirelessly to navigate the art world, museum world, and the gallery world, advocating for this art and saying, this work is absolutely worth seeing. Indeed, they had to go out there and actually find those people who were being, in a way, blacklisted by other things. And they're like, oh, nobody wants to see this art. It's from that guy, and he's an intellectual disability or whatever. Like, well, why are you telling me what I'm allowed to see? I'm going to go see it because you told me not to. Yeah, take that, assholes. Anyways, there's your wacky and weird news about the wacky world of paintings. Well, paintings are always wacky. So that's just a fact. And that's why we cover the story. Give me a metaphor.
Mixed metaphor, right?
Yeah.
Yes, art gives voice to the voiceless as they sail the stormy seas of cynicism.
Indeed. Sailing through life.
History time.
Okay, let's roll our final segue for the show.
Back to history. Back to way,
all right,
way
I'm gonna have to pick one thing from this day in history and sing a song about it.
Reminds you of the song? Right.
Yep. I wrote a song about it, so here goes.
All right. You probably don't have a song about the Holy Roman Emperor, but who knows?
I might.
Way back in 1452, Frederick III became the last Holy Roman Emperor to be crowned by a Pope, Nicholas V. So he was also crowned by a Pope. After that, they drew lots or spun a wheel, maybe. I don't know. 1560, and the conspiracy of Amboise, French Huguenot aristocrats failed to overthrow the Roman Catholic House of Guise. They failed. Anyway, 1687. While on an expedition to find the mouth of the Mississippi River, French explorer René Robert Cavelier, Sieur de La Salle, was murdered by his men in what is now Texas. La Salle had previously claimed a large region around the river for Louis XIV of France, naming it Louisiana. I didn't know La Salle was murdered. 1860, William Jennings Bryan was born. He was a Democrat and populist leader and a magnetic orator who ran unsuccessfully 3 times for U.S. presidency in 1896, 1900, and 1908. We got 1918 president. Here we go. U.S. President Woodrow Wilson signed the Standard Time Act, which established daylight savings times. Who's to blame?
God damn it, Woodrow Wilson again. I don't know what else he did, but I'm sure he did other things.
Yeah, he was a Klan member too.
Oh man, it's racism's fault. I knew it. It's always down to racism.
Right. The legislation also gave the federal government oversight of the country's time zones, and I don't know how they can do that.
Now, man, we could have been having 15 time zones in the country.
You have the wrong time on your clock, and we're going to enforce it. I'm just going to be 5 minutes.
Put this man in jail.
Just to piss off the government. 1920, Josef Pilsudski was named the Marshal of Poland. Good for him. 1931, Nevada legalized gambling, which paved the way for casinos in the state, most notably in Las Vegas. Las Vegas just happened to be the mob place, and that's why it grew. No place else was getting the infusion of mob money like Las Vegas got. 1954, American journalist, of course, Howard Hughes, too, threw a lot of money at Vegas. 1954, American journalist Jill Abramson was born. She was the first woman to serve as executive editor of the once proud New York Times. Now just another rag that's just mouthpiece for the fascists.
Yep.
1962, American musician Bob Dylan released his eponymous debut album to mixed reviews. To this day, Bob Dylan he released his first album, which is called Bob Dylan, 63 years ago today. 1982, Argentine forces mobilized after a dispute between Argentine workers and British scientists in a British-controlled South Georgian island, leading to Argentina's invasion of the Falkland Islands 2 weeks later. Okay, that's the one that Margaret Thatcher, I'm going to be a famous war leader and kick Argentina off the Falkland Islands.
I'm also going to fix the economy by messing it up and then never fixing again. Woohoo!
Or as they call them in Brooklyn, the Falkland Islands.
The Falkland
Islands. In 1996, one of the world's fires in the history of the Philippines swept through the Manila discotheque, killing 159 of the 400 people in a nightclub, which was intended to hold no more than 35. So you got 400 people in a nightclub. His capacity is 35. What are you doing?
Wow, that's a lot of people, man. What?
Here's that dance they did. right before the fire, and then a whole bunch of them died because you couldn't get out. I wonder if there was a fine paid for a fire code violation. I don't know. People are insane. 1997, Dutch-American artist William de Kooning, a major exponent of abstract expressionism and action painting, died at the age of 92. His series Woman 1 through 6 in Roman numerals caused a stir with its violent images and impulsive technique. Art is in the eye of the beholder, as they say. I said anyway. 2008, English writer Arthur C. Clarke died at the age of 90. He was best known for his visionary science work and novels, for his work on Stanley Kubrick's hugely successful motion picture 2001: A Space Odyssey. Arthur C. Clarke, science fiction writer, got to be 90. 2014, American church leader Fred Phelps died at the age of 84. Who cares? Why? Because he founded the Westboro Baptist Church, which became known for its strident opposition to homosexuality and gay rights, as expressed on picket signs carried by church members at funerals and other events. Not just funerals, military funerals of young soldiers who died young, and they're out there saying, God hates fags. Like, that's relevant to anyone at the funeral. It's just like, we want to piss off people while they're grieving. Yeah, just the worst damn people on the planet. Anyway, their leader bit the dust this day in 2014. So, rotten hell, you pile of shit. So, fuck that guy. He doesn't give a shit about dead soldiers. Need more dust,
actually, while you're there.
Yeah. He doesn't give a shit about dead soldiers. I don't give a shit about him. Fuck him. I hope somebody's pissing on his grave right now. And speaking of dead soldiers, in 2003 on this day, so it's been 22 years since George W. Bush declared an illegal war. Iraq war begins on this day in 2009, ordered airstrikes on Baghdad, thus launching the Iraq war. Us dictator Saddam Hussein, who was believed wrongly, they put in parentheses, to be manufacturer of weapons of mass destruction. It's a good thing we killed all those people, right? Yeah. Again, another guy can go straight to hell, George W. Bush. Glenn Close, birthday today. She's an American actress, born March 19, 1947. She's 78 today, not 77. Thank you very much, Britannica, for not knowing what year it is. Still, it's March. Trying to figure out what year it is. Yeah, she was born in Greenwich, Connecticut. Other birthdays today: William James Bryan, Albert Speer. All right, we're remembering the Nazis. Here we go. It's Albert Speer and Adolf Eichmann's birthday. Albert Speer, born in 1905. Adolf Eichmann, born in 1906. Speer was an architect. Eichmann was just a Nazi. Both Nazis, both scumbags. Screw them. Why are we remembering their birthdays? It's also Bruce Willis's birthday, born in 1955. So happy birthday to Bruce Willis, turning a spry and vigorous 70 today. And what other days is it today? It's a lot of things today. It's National Poultry Day, so get your chicken on. National Chocolate Caramel Day. Chocolate Caramel Day, put chocolate caramel on your chicken. It's National Let's Laugh Day. Let's laugh every day. National Certified Nurses Day. National SBDC Day. Small Business something. It's a small business day. Support your small businesses. They're not sending that money off to some big corporation or some board of directors. It's staying in your community. So support those small businesses.
Also, we'll get there sooner or later, right? That's what that one quote you said a couple weeks back was, right? Just give money to poor man because it'll get to the rich man sooner or later anyways.
That's it. Mark Twain said. You give $1 to a rich man, it goes in his pocket. You give $1 to the poor man, it ends up in the rich guy's pocket also, but it passes through a bunch of other ones on the way there.
Exactly.
National Backyard Day today. So if there's a small business in your backyard and you have a caramel-colored chicken, you're doing great. It's National 3D Day. Also, it's the third week of March is National 3D Day. I guess it's because it's the third week in the third month. I have no idea. But anyway, that's what it is. National 3D today. We all exist in 3 dimensions. Some of us exist in many dimensions. I know I do. But those are your days. That's your nonsense, your spins of the wheel, your news, your laughter, hopefully, on March 19th, 2025 on Before Chocolate Caramel.
Sounds good.
Or caramel, as some people call it.
Well, I have a song for you, and it is the Falklands War Song, also called the Battle of Falkland Islands. And it's a lovely little army song about, they stocked the ships full of British beer and bullets, and they mobilized the Navy. It's a war song, so it's supposed to get you... They were going to teach lessons to those bloody Argentinians. It was one of those kind of songs. I guess check it out if you want to relive that time in history where people got very patriotic and made war songs about wars that didn't need to be happening at all.
To be fair, Argentina harbored a lot of Nazis after the war, and plus their government sucks now, so I'm a big fan of Argentina's government.
I'm on the solid footing that there should not be colonies anywhere, okay? And that's it, okay? I think it's wrong that the Netherlands still has the Curacao and the Antilles. I still think that's bad. I think they should just let them go. But I think the real reason that you don't want to get rid of Curacao is so that all those rich people can go to live there, And you don't want to have to get a passport,
Because the Netherlands wants to have a surfing team in the Olympics.
Exactly, yeah. You need the beaches,
Right.
You can possibly go practice anywhere else. But anyways, this has been Allison from the Netherlands and Roger from the West Coast of the US as we tie up another Wacky and Weird Wednesday. I hope you've been re-enlightened by the oddities of the human race today. And make sure not to turn in people who steal in toilets, because it's really not that big a deal. You know what? Still more for the crown. Just this time, don't get caught on CCTV.
It's gotta weigh like 700 pounds. It's real low.
It was impressive they got it out of there. But we will see you tomorrow for our Thursdays 13, where we'll be covering 13 things off a list that Roger will draw up here. Wow. And we'll discuss how wrong he is or how right he is, depending on what the list is about. So make sure you're subscribed and you have your notifications on the Allie and Raj channel, so you know when we go live and post a video for that. So take care of yourself, wear sunscreen, drink water, and here is our mic drop moment. The infamous toilet heist.
They just drove right up there in their SUV.
Imagine going to prison. What are you in here for? I stole a giant golden toilet and melted it down. You know what? That's so cool. You should get out for free. I have no sympathy for the people who lost their golden toilet. Oh, there you go. You got
the toilet seat separately.
Got the toilet seat separately.
The lazy.
I mean, it's plated, right? It's 18 plated gold. It's not solid gold.
Oh, it's just plated. Okay.
Yeah.
It was solid gold.
18 karat. Sorry, 18 karat. I don't think it's solid gold.
It's on wheels, man.
Yeah. It's still probably really heavy, though. Yeah, 98 kilograms. That's still pretty heavy.
That isn't even an SUV. That's a Volkswagen Golf. That's a tiny little car that people got to squeeze into.
It's probably easy for them to find them then.
Yeah.
That's why they're able to find them. Oh, yeah, that car. We can follow that car driving down the CCT all the way back to their house.
Who would have thought a palace had a security camera as well? Things. Wow.
No. I mean, the UK famously has a lot of them.
Rich, I'm being with sarcasm. It's sarcasm. Oh, no security. Like the guards are just walking around. Like, what the fuck was that?
I think the reason that they're wearing black is so that nobody can see their face. But also, they probably should have covered their car in a weird box so that you would not know what car they drove away in.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.